Are you looking for an inspiring listen? Something to motivate you? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Women of the Northwest, where we have conversations with ordinary women leading extraordinary lives. Motivating, inspiring, compelling.
Really, I would really hope that people would say that's someone who inspired me or helped me or encouraged me to do what I didn't think I could do or accomplish what I couldn't do.
Hey there, listeners. Welcome to episode 26 of Women of the Northwest. This is a place where meaningful conversations happen with ordinary women choosing to live extraordinary lives. I'm your host, Jan Johnson. Before we get started, you might have heard about an exciting project I'm working on with a few friends. It's called 100 Women Who Care. This is how it works. You gather 100 women together 4 times a year. Members nominate local nonprofits, and at the meeting, 3 nonprofits are presented. At the end of the meeting, members vote on one and donate $100. 100 women equals $10,000 for that local nonprofit. You gotta admit, that is the coolest thing ever. And as of today, we have 60 members, well on our way to blessing a local nonprofit and making a huge impact. To become a member, go to 100womenclatsup.com. Today's guest is Lindsay Davis. She grew up in Southern Oregon as a mill worker's kid. Growing up with 2 brothers developed in her a measure of grit, as you will see when you hear her story. She's the president of the Astoria Chamber of Commerce, worked at the Extension Office with 4-H for 11 years, and now is a community relations gal at Hampton Lumber. And now, enjoy. Welcome to Women of the Northwest. This is episode 26. Today, I get to interview Lindsay Davis. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here. Lindsay's got all kinds of fun stories that she's going to tell us today.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. No pressure. Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
I actually grew up in Southern Oregon on the rural outskirts in between like Grants Pass and Murphy. So rural Josephine County.
All right.
Grew up in the same little house that my mom and her family grew up in. Oh. And it was on a little road called Rosewood Street. And it was actually sandwiched in between the Church of the Nazarene and the Pinecone Tavern. So that was kind of my, foundation was right there, So, yeah, it was a lot of great times working. Sundays were even best because, that's between the church and the tavern and Sunday mornings were just always entertaining.
Okay. All right. Who's in your family?
So, my parents that I've been married like 46 or 47 years now, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an inspiration.
Absolutely. Then I have my older brother, Jeremy, and I have a younger brother, Jared. And I have 2 wonderful boys of my own. I have Mason, who's 13. And my oldest, Tyler, is 24 and is getting married this August.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yay. Oh, that's cool. What did your parents do? What did they work in or what did they do?
Yeah, so in Southern Oregon, my mom was always home with us kids and dinner was on the table at 3:30 in the afternoon because my dad had to get ready and head off to the lumber mill where he worked nights.
Oh,
and
okay.
So we'd get off the bus at 3:30 and have dinner, and Dad would be off and on his way to the mill. So I grew up what we call ourselves the mill workers' kids.
Yeah,
and had some really great times down there. We also were a big time golf family, which was kind of unique. And since Dad was the golf coach at the high school, and myself and both my brothers lived it, breathed it. We worked at the golf course. We competed all around the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, really?
And so
interesting.
Played a lot of golf.
Okay. All right. So it had a little bit of competitive spirit mainly with your family then, or just...
It's funny because we always said that we were more competitive with ourselves than with other people, because that's why we enjoyed golf so much.
Oh,
it's such a singular sport.
Yeah.
And you're always competing with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, our high school at the time didn't even have a golf team. So my dad said, well, I'll coach. And older brother started the boys team. I started the girls team. And then my younger brother. So
you were a starter when you were little, young.
Yeah, we enjoyed. We got bitten by the bug when we were in junior golf when we were little,
Mm-hmm.
and then as we grew up into high school, we were the school didn't have a team, so we were really competitive and wanted to compete. And so my dad, fortunately, I mean, I think about it, gave up quite a bit because he worked nights at the mills, so then he'd have to get ready a lot earlier to go out to the course to be the coach, to then get off the course and get to work on time and then work overnight.
So I'm going to say that probably some of his seeing something that he thought needed to be done and stepping out and doing it rubbed off on you.
Just a little bit, I'd say.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
I think it was just all we knew. If the opportunity wasn't there, then how do you create it?
You just make it happen.
So my mom used to always say, when we were always looking for, when you're kids, you're looking for ways to make money. What kind of chores can I do? Yeah. And or what can I make, or what can I sell? And she'd always say, well, go look in the backyard. You'll always find something out in the backyard. Well, that just evolved in all kinds of fun ideas. I can remember my brothers and I loading manure into buckets and trucks and selling it throughout the neighborhood.
For furniture.
Yeah.
Furniture.
Fertilizer. Yeah. So we were like, yeah, you're right. It was all in the backyard. And my older brother, he decided to grow worms for the local fishermen.
Sure.
So he had a little worm farm, which he'll probably kill me for saying that. But it was always just those little things where you're living out in the rural areas. So it wasn't like you can go get a job down at the local market.
Yeah.
So mom would always send us out to the backyard and say, well, go find something, be creative, figure it out, and we'll help you guys get it up and running. And so
that's awesome.
They did.
That is awesome. What about your mom? What kind of things did she do?
So she was a homemaker. She that sounds too matronly.
No,
but
no. There's a lot to be said for being a homemaker.
Yeah. So no, she always, fortunately, we got to have her home all of our childhood. There were times, especially in the 90s, when the spotted owl issue came to Southern Oregon and ended up closing our mills. And we found ourselves needing two incomes, 2-person incomes at that point. And even at the time when my dad was working at the mills, my mom would always supplement now and then she'd work at Kmart during seasonal time or pick up little jobs here and there, bookkeeping, things like that. Yeah. And so she was always just kind of, she filled in where needed, but that was what was always great. She didn't have to work, so she only worked when she wanted to work, or we maybe wanted to do a vacation, so she would work a couple of seasonal jobs or she used to breed and sell dachshunds, and that would be our vacation money.
Yeah. Because not always in our lives do we get that choice to just work when we want to.
Right.
Yeah, has that ever happened to you?
Exactly, huh? So then graduated high school and met and fell in love with who I thought was the man of my dreams.
Yeah, I did that too.
You did that too.
He brought me flowers and I thought that had to be love.
That was it. That was love. Found out we were expecting and I was 18 at the time. And which it was kind of, I had big hopes and dreams of, one day making it to the PGA, but you do what you got with what you got.
Yeah.
And, so forward. I was super excited that I was going to be having a little baby and, starting this new life and, things, obviously there's twists and turns along the way. And I think I was about 7 months pregnant when I found myself, I was, suddenly single. And which was unfortunate, but and I thought, okay, well, rent's coming due, And even though I had a wonderful supportive family, I was hell-bent on making it on my own.
Yeah.
And so I went out looking for a job. I needed to get to work. And so I found out really quick that being young and being that big and pregnant, that it was really hard to get anybody to hire me.
Yeah.
It wasn't until someone looked at me in an interview and just flat out said, we're looking for someone long-term, and looks like you're not going to be long-term.
Not going to be long-term, which now you probably would not be able to say.
Right.
As an employer.
Right. Yeah. And this was the 90s. So it was, they just said, you're not for us. And this is the reason.
Yeah.
And so.
So what did you do?
After a couple interviews and realizing I was having a hard time competing with other people looking for jobs, I just thought, I've got to change my tactic here, and I need to change it. And I also kind of need to put a little spin on it. So first thing I did was I stopped applying for jobs that were in the help wanted section.
Okay.
Because I thought I gotta eliminate my competition here. And so actually I drove around to all the different businesses around town and looked at their parking lots. And if they had nice fancy cars, then they had money to hire me or money to pay me or pay me well. Because if they're paying their employees well, they're driving those fancy cars. That's the kind of money I knew I was going to need to make to raise a baby on my own.
Okay.
So I would kind of go home. I'd look at the parking lot, great cars, go home, research what they did, how they were doing it, looked at their marketing, their advertising, kind of try to figure out like maybe where they were trying to.
At that point, look at their advertising, whatever. It wasn't internet.
No, there wasn't. The newspapers.
So what did you do? Just looked in the
newspapers and any signage they had around town, or even the radio advertisements. And I kind of listened and try to figure out who they were trying to target and why, because that's probably where they were lacking.
So how did you think to do all of that kind of stuff? That's not a normal thing.
Yeah, I
for
think
a teenager to do.
Well, when you're raised with two brothers, you learn how to hustle, and you learn a thing or two about grit. And always, I'm just never stronger than my brothers, but I certainly needed to be smarter than them. So, you work smarter, not harder.
Wait a minute, they might not like that.
Yeah, I know, that's okay though.
But sometimes the truth hurts.
Right, it's okay. We're all good on it now. But, I just had to, I think it was a little bit of survival mode too. It was kind of like realizing that unfortunately some people saw a big growing belly as like a barrier and was not going to fit in with what they were looking for. Just hearing those words where you're not exactly what we're looking for was disheartening. So it was like, all right.
It was discriminatory.
Absolutely, but we didn't use those fancy words back then.
Right.
It was back in the day. I mean, you didn't. If you were competing for a job and you were unmarried, you didn't tell people you were unmarried.
Right.
If you had children, you unfortunately didn't celebrate that in an interview.
Yeah.
You kind of kept that quiet because you wanted to get just to the first day of work, and then you're like, okay, now you can't let me go.
Right. Yeah. Well, it was in the 70s when I was pregnant and single.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You definitely didn't tell people you were.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So.
So you got a job.
Yeah. I
you made a job?
I'm going to outsmart them, and so I went down to JCPenney's and I bought an oversized sweater that looked professional, but that you look in the mirror and you're like, she just must be a little overweight. It's like I got one of those, and then I went over and they had these beautiful little $10 cubic zirconia rings that looked like a wedding ring. So I would throw that on my ring finger, and I went in and went into this one company, and they were not advertising for any help wanted. But I went in there and said, look, I've been studying a little bit about your company and what who you're trying to reach. And I've been listening to your advertising, and here's where I think I could contribute and make this successful. And that kind of make, hey, if you brought me on and, basically try me out for 30 days or 60 days. And then we can
see what you think.
Keep me on if you want to.
And they fell for it.
They fell for it. And they had no idea I was pregnant.
And then they loved your baby afterwards.
Yeah. So first day of work, I show up in an actual maternity shirt, and they were like, oh, and this was, the 90s. So you never got sick or vacation time or family leave. There was none of that. You had to be with a company at least a year before you had those kind of benefits. And so immediately when they saw me, they started thinking and like, well, this isn't going to last very long. This is going to be a very short-term relationship. And I was like, no. I've got it all figured out.
I'm here.
I did not have it figured out. All I knew in my brain was that rent was going to be due sometime in the middle of that month. The baby was going to be born, and I needed to figure out how to make rent again. Yeah. And again, a wonderful, supportive family. They were wanting me to move home. I was going to do this. Yep. And so, I worked all the way up.
I got this.
I worked it was a Wednesday, got done with work, went to a Lamaze class, and my water broke at Lamaze class. So, rushed to the hospital that evening, had my son Tyler in the wee morning hours, Thursday morning, and took the weekend off and went back to work on Monday.
That's my kind of woman.
Yeah. It's funny because people would say, you didn't take any maternity leave. You didn't, and I said, well, Sacagawea just didn't sit around in a tent.
Exactly.
She strapped her baby on her back and away she went.
Just keep going.
She had to keep going. So
how did you get up to Astoria?
Oh, that's a fun story too. So we were a multi-generational family down in Southern Oregon, much like what it is here in Astoria and Napa. And there was my older brother who was managing a retail store, and he got his big break out of the valley and moved up to the big boy city of Hillsboro. And they have their son, my nephew is Taylor, and I have Tyler, and the boys were 3 months apart, and they were very, very, very close. So when they left, I was just like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And I thought, I really want the boys to grow up closely together. So I'd make several trips up just to go visit, so the boys could spend trips, vacations, summer breaks, spring break, Christmas break. And then I thought, I think I might be able to buy a house. And by this time, I had started my own little consulting company.
Okay.
And so I had the ability to kind of take it wherever.
What were you consulting?
Marketing and advertising.
Okay. So marketing's kind of always been your gig.
Kind of, a little bit. A little bit gig.
In some ways,
And so found a cute little place up there just on the outskirts of Hillsboro and moved on up to the big city myself, thinking that, I've made it to the big city. And then shortly after that, my parents raised cattle, and it was getting harder and harder to find good hay in Southern Oregon. And if you did find good hay, it was super expensive. So they were already kind of looking at like, well, what if we went somewhere where there's a little bit more rain? Wow.
A little bit more
rain.
That would be Eugene, maybe.
right. That's what I was thinking, But so at this time, my older brother and myself were around Hillsboro area. And they started looking really up into Washington and started making their way down. Came out Highway 30, and fell in love with Astoria. And thought, wow, look at all this green grass. And it was the middle of summer, and there's lots of green grass, which you don't see green grass in the middle of summer in Southern Oregon. So they found a place and just brought all their cattle up and were firmly planted there, which was great for me and my older brother, because they were only about an hour and a half away from us.
Sure, close again.
Yep. Younger brother was still in Southern Oregon.
Close by.
Yep. And so then all of a sudden, my older brother, whom I followed to Hillsboro, gets transferred to Seaside. I was like, oh my goodness.
Now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I don't want to be here alone.
I didn't want to be alone. And so, so a lot of people ask, why did you choose here? Did you choose... Or why did you choose? I chose Napa. And you say, well, do you live in Astoria? I said, no, I chose Napa. And, well, why did you choose Napa? It's a funny story. Let me tell you. So when parents and older brother got out here on the coast, and I thought, well, I'm going to start looking for somewhere that felt like home to me on the coast. I had enough of the city life, living on a postage stamp. I wanted to come out here as well. So I started on the south end of the county and started working my way through, just looking all the different communities and different areas. And I I just about given up, like nothing just felt right.
Yeah.
And I was heading out Highway 30 to then head back to Hillsboro. So I thought, I need to pull over and get some gas. So at the one blinking light in Napa, I pulled over at the gas station and got out of my car, and this nice gentleman came to pump my gas.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know at the time, but, I'm so honored and, that it was the unofficial mayor of Napa, Mr. Strawberry himself. And, so Strawberry comes out, pumping my gas into my car with a lit cigarette in his mouth. And they're hollering at him
and
from the inside.
This is the place.
I found my people. But no, and just in that little bit of time, I just watched how everybody interacted. And you heard a lot of like, hey, how are your parents doing? Or what's Jimmy up to? And just, it was like this little community hub. Yeah. And in the 10, 15 minutes that I was there was all these interactions of that small town feel that was very similar to where I grew up. Mm-hmm. And the little gas station by our house. Yeah. And so we'd go down there and there'd be those same chitter chatter conversations that were happening here. And so I just really fell in love with the community. Yeah. And found a place here in Napa, and it's been my home now for 15 years. Oh, wow. I tease your husband and say, 15 years, do I earn my Napa wings?
I don't know. Waiting. He's been here since 76, and I'm not sure he's earned them yet.
I'm still waiting.
I don't know. He's not like a real.
Yeah. And, I do a lot of my work, what I do now, and is in town. And a lot of people say, why don't you move to town? Yeah. It's like, no, I really love it out here. Yeah. And it's not the end of the world. Yeah. As people say when they say you live all the way out in Napa.
I know. Well, no, they say you live all the way out in Brownsmead.
Yes, right. Yeah, you're even further up the end of there than I am. Up the end of the road. But it's a wonderful decompressing drive when you're coming home at the end of the day.
Yeah. So you're working at Hampton now. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So fortunately, well, when I got up here, I found out there was a job at the extension office, and it was just a part-time job, which at that point, when you work at home for so long, you crave any sort of adult interaction. Yeah. So I'm going for it. I'm going to go work part-time in the extension office, which was super familiar to me because I grew up in extension. Sure. And I grew up in the 4-H program.
4-H and everything. Mm-hmm.
And my kids were involved at that point. I had Tyler, and then I had my son Mason, and very involved in 4-H. Mm-hmm. So it was like, this is going to be so much fun. Yeah. And I think I was in that little part-time job for 2 weeks, and then they had a need for a full-time office manager.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if I want to do full-time. I just thought I was signing on for part-time. But I really loved the people in there, and I loved obviously everything about extension. Mm-hmm. So we'll just go for it, which I'm so fortunate we did, because that was right when the 2008 crash happened, or right after the 2008 crash. And we were still recovering. So this was October of 2010 when I started with them, and we were still on the tail end of that recession period, just still feeling it. Mm-hmm. And so it was really great to kind of jump into an office and an organization that was, trying to fill the community need wherever they could. Right. It felt like you're a part of something bigger.
Right.
So I was fortunate. I spent 11 years at the extension. My younger brother worked there as well, in the 4-H part of it. And so in that role, I interfaced a lot with Hampton, with the Forestry and natural resources. Uh-huh. Yeah. And just of the 7 program areas, other than 4-H, my heart kind of led into Forestry natural resources. Okay. It was kind of the industry that built me in Southern Oregon. So it gave us that familiarity. Yeah. Yeah. And so where opportunity came about that they needed a community outreach specialist and stewardship coordinator. Yeah. I was like, pick me. Wow, I figured. Not much competition if I'm the only extroverted person in an introverted world when it comes to forestry. But no, it's been such a wonderful fit, and I absolutely love it.
What do you like about doing that?
I love that, you get to interface with all kinds of people in the community. Again, when you're passionate about something, such as forestry, forest management, it's really easy to talk about. And
who do you interface with? What kind of people are you?
Oh, everybody
talking
from the K-12 systems, kids, teachers, to community and business leaders, to electeds, commissioners, anybody wants to talk forestry with me. Come on. But yeah, just looking for those partnerships and collaborations to where, we're such a huge complement to the community on the economic driver side. But we want to be, closer as far as education and quality of life. And, Hampton is such a great family owned company that it wants to be really ingrained in the communities that they have a presence in. And
Tell me, were you part of bringing the dance troupe?
I was not.
Okay.
I helped with a little bit of logistics to get that going, but that was Jed Arnold, who was previously in this position.
Okay. Because that was
Body
fun.
Box, yeah, and that's run by one of our owners, Jamie Hampton. Yeah, and beautiful. I'm looking forward to bringing them back out. Absolutely.
So, do you have other ideas like that you would incorporate?
I do. We are going to be putting, first of all, a 35-foot custom yurt out at the tree farm.
Oh.
And that is going to give us the opportunity to host lots of different groups, classroom space, tours.
How many people will it hold?
Oh, it'll, coming in and out of it, it'll hold 30, 40 people in there. So it'll be plenty of room for a full classroom to come out.
Right.
And that was the thing, to have nice classroom space, community, public space, meeting space. Here on the east side of town, we don't have a whole lot of quality meeting space.
Yeah.
And so I think this would be really exciting to have some quality meeting space on the east side where we can host groups. Be a bit like of an interpretive center, because then we'll have these networks of trails where the youth or adults can come out and they can learn about what we do on the tree farm, but look at different, not only types of trees, but different age of stands, all kinds of things we can show them on these interpretive trails. We're going to dot throughout the tree farm there around the yurt. So.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
What other visions do you have?
So we're going to, from that, we're going to be, like I said, working a lot with youth, working a lot with 4-H and FFA.
Okay.
Looking forward to even incorporating some programming around veteran services out there.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to do some fun community events.
Yeah.
So this September, we're planning on hosting the first annual Hampton Sip and Stroll.
Okay. I love it.
So that will be highlighting all the wonderful craft breweries that we have here, distilleries, wineries. Hampton also owns a vineyard. A lot of people don't know that, but we own a vineyard. Yeah. We make our own wine.
Yeah.
And then we'll also be having art available to look at along the interpretive trails that you can bid on.
Oh.
And this will be to benefit the North Coast Watershed Association, who we do a lot of work with up on our tree farm. With stream restoration projects and other stewardship projects that we have going on with them.
So you'll put a bid in with AVA to get the artists making things for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to also contact all of the high schools and ask the high school kids to contribute, and actually the money from that art would go back to the high schools that participate. But the actual ticket sales for the Sip and Stroll would go to benefit North Coast Watershed Association.
That's really awesome. Oh, that's exciting.
So we are looking at just really highlighting the tree farm out here. We have 33,000 acres out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we just bought and have now got our land up to almost 30,000 acres across the bridge on the Washington side. So,
so if somebody was interested in these things you're doing and they don't know where to look, where are they going to find out this information?
They're going to call me. We have social media presence, but we have our website, hamptonlumber.com.
Okay.
And then, of course, my information, anybody can get hold of me at Lindsay Davis at hamptonlumber.com.
Okay, because I'll put links in the show notes for
that'd be great.
Things too. So now you are the president of the Astoria Chamber of Commerce. What's your role there? What are you going to be doing?
Yeah, when they call you and say you're going to be president-elect, or you're on the being nominated for president-elect, and I was like, okay, great. What does that mean? And then they're like, okay, now you're in the president role. Okay, what does that mean? And that is quite a large organization.
It is.
And it's a very engaged and active board.
Grows every week. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And to come in during a pandemic as president of a chamber of commerce during a pandemic, it was very challenging. And I was following the heels of Lois Purdue, who was also with Hampton, who was president. Okay. And so really we've spent so much time as a board, really talking about how do you support small business? How do we best support these businesses that, in the middle of a pandemic had to formulate pivot plans? Yeah. How do we promote customers coming to the area? How do we tell visitors not to come to our area? Yeah. It was quite a balancing act, and it still is. It's been such a wonderful ride. And we just did the first crab seafood wine festival.
Yeah, how'd that go?
In 2 years. Wonderful.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Yeah.
It was wonderful that there was so many people gunning to get out and about, come visit the area and do it safely, but also just to see everybody in person and see their smiling faces again. It was just great.
Yeah, I know. It is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one last question.
Sure.
What would you want people to say about you at your funeral?
What?
Not that it's going to happen anytime soon.
No. Oh, that's a good question. Goodness gracious. She didn't give up. She didn't quit. That's a girl who, you throw something in front of her and she'll either figure out how to get over it, around it, or kick it out of the way. But really, I would really hope that people would say that's someone who inspired me or helped me or encouraged me to do what I didn't think I could do or accomplish what I couldn't do. That would be nice.
Yeah. Well, I think that might actually happen. Huh?
We'll see. I'm working on it.
Lindsay, thank you for being here today. This is really a delight.
Yeah.
And I hope that all of your projects go well. And I know that as soon as you do one thing, you're spurring off onto the next thing and thinking, because I know how you think.
Yeah. I've got a few more irons in the fire. I'll just wait to reveal those as they come along. Right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode with Lindsay Davis. She is one go-getter of a gal. Inspiring, compelling. I hope it moves you to think about the things that you can do with your life too. If you're enjoying this podcast, you can click on the plus to follow, and each episode will automatically download to your device. Did you know you can ask your smart speaker to play Women of the Northwest podcast? Give it a try. Also, I'd like to thank Bensound for the use of their royalty-free music at bensound.com, the place to go for project music. And as always, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.